So at school I do this thing called MUN, which stands for Model United Nations, which is basically like you do this with your school and you represent a certain randomly picked country. Like I've represented Morocco, Egypt, the Philippines, Thailand and Finland before. They're completely random. And then you get put into a certain committee and then you argue stuff in that committee. So, for example, on the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons, it's basically not spreading nuclear weapons, and you have to argue from your country's point of view. Anyway, we're doing one really, really small one with only 3 or 4 schools at my school next in sort of about a month, and we were just sort of discussing what topics to have, how many committees, and whether we do a crisis at the end, which is basically a really random thing that all the committees can join in and debate. So, like, I've had the crisis that a load of LEDCs stole money from the banks of the MEDCs and they were trying to resolve it, and it was all very entertaining. And about half the time it's taken deadly seriously, and it may as well be the UN and everything's like properly. And then sometimes we're debating on to whether to get rid of nuclear weapons we should hug people, or how to equally distribute the sands of Germany. Sometimes it's not very serious. We were trying to come up with ideas for the crisis, and I thought my idea was brilliant, so no one else seemed to. My idea was that we should have the crisis is that a terrorist group have invented the facility to build a Death Star. They want to live on the Death Star and then destroy the human planet, because obviously humans are horrible and we're useless at looking after planet Earth. No one seemed to think it was a good idea that Death Star, Star Wars style, was, you know, a plausible crisis. I thought it was brilliant. Who wants to do plausible? I mean, that's far too boring. But no. And that's another thing. Disney owning the rights to Star Wars. That's just wrong. I mean, Disney do kids' movies. They always have kingdoms and princesses. And Star Wars, there are no princesses. I mean, Princess Leia, but she was a princess of a planet that was blown up, and her parents, who were, I don't even think they were king and queen, but they were kind of in control, but not really. And they weren't even her real parents, so she's not really a princess. You can't make Leia into a Disney princess. It's just wrong. I get so sidetracked. Sorry. Show my wristband, by the way. Wrong way. Summer City. They're a really good band. They came and played at our school's Battle of the Bands, and they were really, really good. I think there were sort of 6 bands. 2 of them were from our school. There was one group where there were just 4 of them, 2 girls, 2 boys, and the girl, literally, who was singing, she stood on the stage in a black playsuit. She looked really uncomfortable on stage. Stood bolt upright, hands behind her back, and sang like sort of vaguely rocky songs, and you're like, that's just wrong. Also, and then Summer City played, and they had a load of merch at the end, so I bought it because they were actually good, and they were funny, and they were nice people. Yeah. Anyway, rant over.